a pleasure. So, Professor Sachs, as there's been a lot of enthusiasm about renewed U.S.-Russia talks, there's been a breakthrough on the front line. Russia has moved over a dozen kilometers around the Pokrovsk area, and the Ukrainian military has been sounding the alarm even in the New York Times. Now, this comes amid these talks between the U.S. and Russia that are now renewed and are going to go to the highest level. Talk about what Donald Trump, because he is saying that he's going to get land back for Ukraine. What is Donald Trump misunderstanding about Russia and about this war?
First of all, it's very hard always to understand Donald Trump, what he means by any phrase, by land swaps or anything else. Everything is imprecise, varying by the hour and day. So I don't take the words literally. He doesn't mean them literally. What supposedly could be meant by this in terms of swaps is that Russia would get, quote unquote, all of two oblasts, Donetsk and Lugansk, the Donbas oblasts, and it would, quote, swap area that it has claimed in Zaporizhia and Kherson that it doesn't control right now. So that would be called a swap. It would say Kherson city or Zaporizhia city would remain Ukrainian, and Russia would stay in the parts of Kherson and Zaporizhia where its troops have reached the front lines, but not beyond that. That could be what's meant by a land swap. Honestly, until something is spelled out, trying to figure out what Donald Trump means is just not possible precisely.
Yeah, and Russia and Vladimir Putin's approach has been, as it always is, very diplomatic on the one hand, but there are rumors of Ukraine. Of course, we know that Ukraine is very much against any kind of settlement of this conflict at this time. And there's even rumors that they might try a kind of Kursk invasion in the Bryansk region. So given that the situation on the battlefield is still very much fluid, what do you make of the current state of the conflict and ultimately how the United States under the Trump administration has addressed it up until this point? Because it wasn't too long ago that there was just ultimatum after ultimatum to Russia.
Of course, I'm not a military authority. I'm a consumer of military news and information. My strong impression from very carefully monitoring what is said by a number of sources is that Russia is winning on the battlefield, that Ukraine does not have the personnel to proceed, and it also can't match Russia on many of the munitions and armaments. That makes perfect sense to me. It is clear that in a war of attrition, as this one essentially is, Russia's going to win this war. That, I think, was obvious from the start. So in this sense, Zelensky's refusal to negotiate does no favor to the Ukrainian people. It's not what the Ukrainian people actually want, as best we can tell. The most recent survey data that is being widely discussed shows that a significant majority of the Ukrainian people want the war to end with negotiations. Zelensky is a military dictator in essence right now. He rules basically without a vote. He is long past his term of office. I'm underwhelmed by Zelensky and have been from the very start. Of course, I have regarded him mostly as a puppet of a variety of forces, the extreme nationalist right of Ukraine on the one part, the United States for a long time. And when the United States started to say, we don't want to go on with this gambit of ours because it failed, then of the Europeans. No doubt Zelensky's in a tough fix, but he's putting his countrymen in an even far worse situation. This war should stop. There should be a settlement on the basis of neutrality, an end of this absolutely reckless U.S. adventure started in the 1990s of moving NATO to Ukraine and to Georgia, and some territorial losses because the United States and the Ukrainian post-2014 regime gambled, and they lost. They had many chances to avoid losing the Donbass. It was called the Minsk II agreements. But the United States and Ukraine said, no, we're not going to honor the Minsk II agreements. We're not going to give autonomy to the eastern regions of Ukraine, that is Lugansk and Donetsk. They gambled. I know that the American officials thought that they had the winning hand. I never think much of American strategists, by the way. They're failures. They're not very clever. They got this wrong, and I think predictably so.